Okay, so we're ready to move on. What we need to do is we're going to put the decals going around the edge and below the nacelle pylons. That way there we can actually affix them onto the ship. And for that, you can see these are the parts that are going to go on there, and we need to look at the box for reference. So it looks like on the port side, we've got 37. You can see where that's going to go. And then we have the 33s. All right, let's start to do that. So we've got 40. And then we have the 33s, and I think that's what's going to go around the saucer section. So we got 33s, and that's going to come around. Okay, so let's get these. We'll start with these. And we got our brush, and let's get the micro set and the micro saw. Remember, we're going to put the clear coat on here. When we're done, we're going to seal it. Incidentally, I took the, we cut the lights, the fiber optics. I want you guys to check out how the flashing looks. And one of them's underneath the damage, so that section is damaged. You see the underneath. It's because it's touching. So that looks pretty cool. Hopefully you can see the warp, the impulse crystal underneath, the warp nacelle, and on the top we got the registry. So that looks pretty good for now. So what we got to do now is we actually have to wait for all of the micro set to dry. Okay, so the decals had some time to dry, so what I think I want to do now is we're going to put the nacelles in. Alright, so to give you a little bit of an update, I glued the the nacelle pylons onto the side of the ship. And since they're nice and dry, I think we can move on. And we need to put the crossbar on. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the CA glue. I have been using the super glue, but the CA glue, it's going to set a lot faster. Just like that. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to put the activator on this part. So hopefully you guys can see the glue. Yeah, there are parts that need to go on the end. So there are parts that are going to go on the front and parts that are going to go on the back. Let's do the front first. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do now is we're going to put a little bit of the plastic putty. We'll fill in some of the gaps. And then we could think about actually putting the finishing touches on the model. We're also going to use some of the glue gun. And we're going to put some of the damage. The glue is going to help to loosen up the filaments a little bit. So what I want to do is, because we've done some work on it, I want to check to make sure that it's still, you guys can see the damage on the top. And it looks like we've got a light leak on here that we'll fix up with the plastic putty. You can see the damage. So what I like to do is use the plastic putty. That dry, we'll clean it off, and then we'll do some touch-up painting, and then we'll airbrush the final damage onto the ship. So when it comes to the nacelle, the plan was to have it coming off of the ship. the way the Enterprise had blown it off. But instead of putting it on the ship, I think I'm going to do is we're going to mount it actually to the base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill into it. That way there we can put the stand into it, and when we touch it up, we'll touch up the top. And what I want to do is we're going to put it into the base, and it'll be a little more sturdy if this is going to be on the base. All nice and covered up, all the cracks. So it's looking pretty good. So I think what we can do now is we can actually think about using a hot glue gun. Let's see the underneath. And what I want to do is we're going to fill in the damage all the destroyed parts of the nacelle pylon, because remember, you guys remember at one time it looked like that, and then it got blown off by the Enterprise. Hopefully you guys can see the flashing lights. We have the registry numbers that are lit. We've got the areas around the sensor dome. Hopefully you can see the impulse engine crystal, the Bussard collector, and you can see the damage. So my plan was to drill the outer part of the saucer section, but you guys remember trying to get this closed. It was so difficult, and this is only 1/4 of an inch. I don't want to take a chance on drilling the outside and actually hitting anything, so we're just going to leave well enough alone. So let's start to fill in the damage with the glue gun, and then we'll be able to put the finishing touches on. Alright, so this is what I'm talking about. You guys see what I mean? I want to fill it in as best as I can, and then what we're going to do is once it's filled in, we're going to paint it with the air gun. I think we need to get in there just a little bit more. Because if you remember from the movie, and think of this, was all brand new like the other side of the nacelle, and when the photon torpedo hit it, it got blown off, heavily damaged, and you got to figure all the debris and everything that's flying around, and the char marks. So let's see if we can kind of, when it cools a little bit, just to kind of mold it. With that, because I want to make a little bit of debris. See, I don't have the effects that Hollywood has, so I have to use the glue gun for most of my effects. And it looks like we just got a little bit to go in there. And maybe a little bit more in there. There. And that way there, when we hit it with the gun, it's going to be blackened and it's going to look like the damage. So what we try to do throughout the build of the model was, because the ship has been through such distress, every part of the model, we put it together, and we put it together a little bit off, a little bit crooked, just to show the trauma that the ship has been through. And remember, this is it. This is for the Reliant. She's about to be totally and utterly destroyed by the Genesis device. And before that, she had really taken a beating from the Enterprise. So we wanted to emphasize that during the build. So that's why everything is off slightly. Nothing is squared up. Everything is heavily damaged. And she's nearing her end. So we're only going to do the tips of the sensors. And like I said, they're all destroyed. It's all damaged, it's all bent up, blown apart. Don't look now, guys, but I think that's it. When it comes to the trim paint, that's it. I think the last thing we got to do now is we actually have to start working towards the finishing touch-up for the black. And we're going to run the part with the base in like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually bend. We're going to bend it like that, so that way there we can make it real solid and permanent. Just gonna wait for it to solidify. That way, when the ship is mounted, it's gonna look just like when the nacelle was blown off. Alright, when everything is dry, then we'll spray it with the final coat of the touch-up, the black, for the battle damage. Okay, so everything had some time to dry. The hot glue is solidified, and we got the base. It's looking pretty good. And when it comes to the ship, we put the touch-up paint on the sensors, on the roll bar, and this had some time to dry. The hot glue. So it looks like what we're ready to do now is we're ready to put the finishing touches on. You can see the damage on one of the beacons, and you can see where the wires keep touching. Sorry about that. See where the damage is coming off the port nacelle. You can see the damage in the photon torpedo launcher with the impulse crystal in the background. And we have the shuttle bays. We got the impulse engines. where the shuttle bay area is. Put a little bit of black around where the impulse crystal is. And a little bit of a scorch mark around the #1 shuttle bay. Maybe a little bit on #2. Do some damage to the starboard side nacelle. Marks on the bottom, just to let you know that she's been through a lot. Maybe a little bit around the decal. And perhaps just a bit around the bottom. There, maybe a couple of scorch marks where we hit the photon torpedo launcher. Like that. So don't look now, but the model is just about finished. What we have to do now is we'll go ahead and we'll wrap up the base once everything is dry. Okay, so let me give you an update on what I've been doing. I actually brought the wire out from the base, and what I did was I soldered it to the power supply, and after I soldered it, I put the liquid tape on, and then I put a tie at the end of the power pack just to keep it neat. And because we need to change the batteries, I think we're just going to go ahead and we're going to leave it under the base. Damage on top. And you can see the flashing lights on top, as well as the lit windows. And we'll bring it around and show you guys the damage to the side where the nacelle is. You can imagine that would be all the power cables and everything going to the nacelle. And of course, the Enterprise blew the nacelle off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of spiral it on its way down. Alright, let's cut that. Try to conceal the stand, the metal bar, and the base rod and the wire as much as possible. Light, that was from the aftermarket kit. And we have the yellow, that's from the kit itself. And I was thinking of doing putting the overlapping and making the white part the shadow. try to make it look ever so subtle.
Alright, let's have a little bit of fun. I think the first thing we're going to do is we'll do the nacelle, the blown off nacelle. Start to do this ship, do the edges. Here we are. There. Maybe we'll put it up on the block just so it doesn't stick to the paper when it dries. Okay, so it had some time to dry. Show you guys how it looks. It's still a little tacky. Oh, actually, no, it wasn't. It was just that one spot. Show you guys. I love the shine. You see the Wrath of Khan. Let's go ahead and light it up. The U.S.S. Reliant. Base. Going around. Show you guys the destroyed nacelle pylon and the nacelle. Hopefully you can see the damage, the blown off cables and power cables and couplings. And there's no more power being provided to the nacelle. Destroyed structures on the roll bar, including the photon torpedo launcher. Seems what it is. Head in, show you guys the bridge area. Hopefully you can see the lights a little better. Little blinking beacons. And the one on the starboard side has been destroyed. And check out where the photon torpedo launcher used to be. Of course, that was taken out by the Enterprise. And we're coming around to the port side. You see all the windows on the inside. Everything is all seared after it's been blown off by the photon torpedo strike from the Enterprise. You can see the back that was blown off first with the phaser blast before the deciding blow blew it off the nacelle pylon. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this build series. This was the U.S.S. Reliant.
And we're going to be doing the U.S.S. Enterprise as well to put in the diorama. And the Enterprise is damaged as well. And that's going to be in a 1/1000 scale, and we're going to use the Aztecian decals as well for that model. And then we'll do the diorama, where we can have the Star Trek II Wrath of Khan scene where the Enterprise is chasing down the U.S.S. Reliant. So my friends, thank you so much for watching. Again, I hope you enjoyed this build. And until we do the Enterprise, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.